This is going to be a commentary playthrough of my Uncharted inspired level Isla de Muerta that was created for the Streaming Worlds assignment at the Game Assembly. To give you a little bit of a backstory to the mission here, our player character, together with his companion, have been searching for a long-lost pirate treasure as they approach the island where they believe it is located. Their plane crashes and they are separated, so we don't really know where our friend is. So our player must locate the friend somewhere here on the island and ultimately try to find their way into the treasure cove as well, if it truly exists. So starting the frame here, I immediately want to frame the entrance of the cave, which is the sort of skull entrance here. That's very thematic and fits the pirate theme. And I tried to make an extension of the landmark of the cave as well here with the little lookout post and the flag on the top of the mountain with these pillars that are connected with the lines as well down towards the head of the skull. This is to ensure that even if the player does not have a visual of the actual cave entrance, they can still figure out where the cave entrance is located based on just seeing the watchtower on top of the mountain as they progress through the level. As we continue along the beach here, as soon as the player turns left, which is the only way, I wanted to give them a new point of interest to go to straight away, which is the patch of smoke here. So as you progress through the map here, you immediately, you want to go out there and find what happened, right? Because the player approached the start of this level on an airplane together with their friend, and here as they climb up these rocks, you see that this is the crashed airplane that you came on. So this will be your best bet to find your friend that is probably missing somewhere, and you don't know if he's still alive. The rest of this section here for me was meant to be a little bit of a brief tutorial to just get used to the controls here of the template, the jumping around. I introduced some bar swings mechanics, and soon here we're also going to introduce the rope swing mechanic, and these are both introduced in a very safe manner. You can fail without dying, there's not really an issue here. And as you complete this first rope swing, we're following that up with a second rope swing that is a little bit more dangerous. It's fatal if you drop, and this also serves as sort of a one-way away from the starting zone, and we're now deep into progressing into the map. So this is the second zone of the level, which is sort of a cliffy jungle part. And as you approach here, you see that there's a guard standing by at the airplane. He's probably investigating it and looking for your friend, perhaps, or looking for any type of loot that might be there. So here I've given the player the opportunity to stealth kill the guard because you spawn without weapons in this level. So this gives you the possibility to loot your first gun and proceed onwards. Right away here, I'm pointing the player directly towards your next location by using the wings of the airplane to sort of create a leading line, and the woods are kind of shaped like a corridor as well. I'm not super happy about this part. I think that the path is a little bit too obvious. Probably I should have made it a little bit more zigzaggy here and not just so straight. As you climb up here, this little hill, you come to a bit of a lookout spot, and you see what is your friend hanging there in a parachute in the woods with some enemy mercenaries right next to him, checking him out. And the zone that we arrived to here is sort of like an old pirate village. So, I mean, we are in a contemporary setting, but the island is an old pirate hideout, right? Which is why we're here looking for the pirate treasure. So now the next goal of the player here is to simply go up to their friend and see what's up. Is he dead? Is he still alive? Is he being hostage? What's happening here? And this combat encounter I've chosen to make a little bit optional. Of course, you would preferably take out the guard so you can truly inspect your friend, and yeah, he's dead as a rock here. But the rest of the two guards that are patrolling are positioned in a way that you can avoid combat if you so choose. So here we can stealth past them without any issue. The guards will look like they've aggroed something, and that is because they spot their companion that you stealth killed to see your friend. But there's no problem to just continue walking through. And at the end of the village here, I wanted to introduce the player to a level mechanic, which is these exploding barrels. So by simply putting a blocker in and putting a barrel in front of it, the player must interact with it, and you figure out and immediately with these masts here that you can see in a distance, I've already sort of created another next goal for the player to go through, another point of interest, right, in that zone. So you progress through little forest area here and come into the next zone, and you don't really know what this is yet, but yeah, you sort of come through the broken bottom of a ship, an old pirate ship, and you get this nice view of a huge pirate ship that was put on dry dock when the pirates still lived here, and then abandoned for some reason. We don't really know what happened. As the player approaches here, you can choose to go up and explore the ship by taking these ladders. This is an optional step. You could just progress through that path that you saw over there in the distance if you choose to do so. But in this case, I've chosen to simply play through by going up on the ship to get a little bit of a visual of how it looks up here. And here you also teach the player the zipline mechanic, as you can zipline down here to come down in a quicker way rather than just taking the ladder back again. Player can continue here, just climb on. This was your sort of only path forward. As you saw from up there on the ship, you couldn't really take any other path, so this is where you must progress. Some simple climbing, jumping between holds there on the mountain. And this next zone here is an area that is very filled with steam and smoke. So this is a sort of a hot spring area where the goal basically is for the world partition to do its job. And yeah, the challenge was basically to have one zone that was so filled with steam or mist that you would only feel the need to load in one additional zone. So that's my area here. And as you approach here on this bridge, I've scripted in a motorboat that arrives. So you don't see by the mercenaries, perhaps the explosion barrel that you set off before. So probably there's backup on the way. And then you have a little bit of a stealthy kill here on a sniper rifle, a guard that is just on the lookout over the hot springs. And I gave the player the opportunity to loot the sniper rifle here, which is going to spice up our next combat area a little bit. And as you come back here, you can't take the same way up that you took down because that was a one-way drop. But instead, there's a little bit of a side path here that once again lets the player use the bar swing mechanic. So I wanted to avoid backtracking the same way that you came from because that's usually boring. So it's more fun to find another way. Then you continue climbing under rocks. You learn by now that these rocks are made for climbing. And as you approach this little lookout spot, we zone in the other zone with the harbor again. And the motorboat that you heard was then guards coming in, or mercenaries coming in to see what the fuss is all about with the barrel. And they've actually kind of managed to pick up explosive barrels. They fire to set this mast down, and that's going to create a new path for you. There we have a little easy kill. So the goal of this area was to change up an area that we've already been in, but that we need to backtrack to, and to introduce a further part of the exploding barrel as well, that it actually deals damage to the guards. So this is not a challenging encounter at all. It's more a fun way of playing with the level mechanic that is the exploding barrels, and just simply blowing things up, which is usually fun in video games. As we progress here on the new path, we're soon going to be coming down to the hot spring area again, but from another angle. So we continue just doing some jumping here, some parkour. And then we have a bit of a slide down here. And the hot springs area is not very insightful or fun to walk through, so I'm just going to be a bit of a self-critic on the past part before here with the sniper. I would say that if I could redesign something on this map, it would mainly be the positioning of the sniper that we took out. I thought that it was quite a boring way to pick up the sniper. He's just here guarding nothing, right? So if I would redesign this, I would make him a lookout over the pirate harbor so that the player need to dodge the sniper as they progress through the pirate harbor and then climb up the same way that we did and just come up for an angle to take out the guard from behind, right? I think that would have been a more fun and intuitive way to take out the sniper and loot the sniper. After we pass the hot springs here, we come into a cave section. So this will be quite a bit of downtime from combat, but it will instead ramp up the intensity in terms of travel and exploration, right? Or traversal and exploration. So the goal of this section was basically to use as many travel mechanics or traversal mechanics as I could that the IWALS template offer. So we have some narrow ledge climbing, we have some narrow edge holding, regular climbing. At the end of this cave that we're going to come through in a bit, you will see some more bar swings and rope slangs and etc. But we continue here. Climb up this wall, and now soon here we're going to arrive at a bit of a vista. It's going to give us another look at our extension of the landmark there with the lookout tower and the pirate flag, so we know more or less where we are, how close we are. And then you have this nice large open room as a contrast to the rest of the cave, where we have multiple waterfalls. It's quite scenic, like an easy on the eye kind of room. We're gonna have a nice little rope swing here for some drama. We jump off. Then some more, narrow ledge hanging and walking here. So of course, if this would have been a more polished game, you would have a lot of flushing noises from the waterfall and lots of water splash as you walk through here, right? Maybe the stones could be a bit slippery and you fall and you need to grab another one. Like that's some type of flair that I would add to this to make it more polished if I had more time. So here we continue with the bar swing section. So once again, much more lethal here than it was in the introductory part of the level. If you fall here, you die, basically. And you need to drop off to some narrow handle holes as well. I chose to leave a lot of openings in the cave to let in some natural lights, use some rect lights there as well to sort of create the illusion of natural light. Here we have a final sort of epic putting cinematic to just try to capture the Uncharted vibe again. They love to do those more epic shots, I feel, with buildings collapsing and those things. Don't really have the resources to do that. And here we arrive at one of my final zones, and this is the final combat encounter. So here the players still have access to the sniper. You have way more guards or mercenaries, and you have quite a few exploding barrels to play with. The AI was perhaps a little bit stupid on this section for me. I mean, it turned out to be easier than I thought. So I've done a better job in balancing this combat area by either simply removing explosive barrels, added more AIs, perhaps restricting their nav mesh a little bit so that they don't really leave their covers as they do now. They just seem to simply bum rush me, and that gave me, like you saw, an easy way of using the barrels there. I'll do a quick pause here, actually a quick reverse. So after this combat scenario, you have another view from the other side, right, of the Skull Cave. You continue on these sort of man-made bridges, and then you quickly find out that, yeah, this was probably once the correct path to take there to the entrance, but now it's been trashed, so I can't really take there. So we got a little bit of a bait and switch, and you just turn around and you find these rocks that you can climb on instead. Yeah, proceed here with some easy jumping, and it's basically going to continue with just some simple jumping here until you arrive at the cave entrance. But yeah, while we run to the end here, just to do some recap, like the main thing that I would change for the level, like I said before, was the sniper scenario, to make that a little bit more memorable, the way that you take out the sniper and that you actually fight the sniper. I would change the last combat section to not be so overpowered with the explosive barrels. But otherwise, all in all, I'm quite satisfied with the level. I think that it had a good tempo swing between traversal and combat, with the option to stealth pass on combat as well. I like the environment. I thought that the white box quality in general was quite good. And yeah, overall it was a fun experience. Challenge to work with the world partition and some buggy AI, but I think it worked out great.